Hey, it's Rob Lightfoot, proud two-time alum of Rowan University.
And I'm Jessica Kennedy, also a two-time Rowan alum. And you're listening to
Beyond the Brown and Gold.
Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM presents Beyond the Brown and Gold, a show that highlights the lives and memories of Glassboro State and Rowan University alumni. Now, here are your hosts, Rob Lightfoot and Jessica Kennedy.
Today, we had the pleasure of welcoming Jean and Ric Edelman. Jean, a graduate of the class of 1981, and Ric, a graduate of the class of 1980. Onto today's podcast, and it was a blast.
Yeah, in between a bunch of the stuff that they were doing. We had them back on campus. We maximized their time when they're on campus. And it was a fun little time we spent together.
You probably know their names, especially if you have an affiliation to the university, because the Edelmans have been such philanthropic supporters of all the things here on campus. We do talk quite a bit about the fossil park that was recently established right here in Mantua. This past March, we had the grand opening, but they have been amazing. I mean, Jean was the first SGA female president, so I like to tout that because I think that's pretty cool. They started this incredible company together, financial company. They worked together. They built it from the ground up. There's so many things we could say about them. They have an incredible bio. Yeah,
I know.
They're really important. We're very excited to have the opportunity to connect with them today.
And Jess, we talked about cryptocurrency. Now, we
Rob's
actually just asked him, and he talked about it. But
we did not.
We did not talk about it, but he can explain it a lot better in the episode today.
Yeah, we talk about crypto. We talk about their path, what made them, give back to Rowan, why they still stay connected, what visitors can expect at the fossil park, and we dove in to really get to know them as people, which was definitely the most exciting part. Welcome. We're excited to have you. You're on campus today for a very special reason. Ric, you spoke at the ceremony earlier today. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your day so far?
It was fun. The rain stopped just as we walked outside, which was wonderful. And the students were super enthused, as we would expect, to be enjoying their graduation after years of hard work. And it was exciting to participate as the commencement speaker, and particularly gratifying that Sandy Tweedy's retirement was here as dean of the college, so we gave him a wonderful send-off, and that was particularly touching.
He made a funny little joke, Sandy, that he's going to serve as Ric's stunt double in his retirement, which I thought was kind of, and then I saw them side to side. I was like, oh yeah, that could
And they kept
work.
joking about it's the Ric Edelman to be determined.
That's the to be determined college of to be determined. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Good. All right, let's go back. Where did you grow up? How did you make your way to Glassboro State?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And my dad was in the carpet industry, so we moved around quite a bit. Ended up in West Windsor, Plainsboro, near Grover's Mill. Remember War of the Worlds and Orson Welles? And so we lived in Grover's Mill. And really, Glassboro State was the only college I wanted to go to because I wanted to study home economics and I wanted to teach people about food and health. And so it was the only school I wanted to go to. And ended up here in 1977, September 1977.
And how had you heard about Glassboro State back then?
Guidance counselor. They had catalogs, he's like nutrition. I think there were two schools, or I guess you go to Rutgers and that. So, yeah.
Well, you chose the right RU, so fair enough.
Yeah, it was fun. So I was so happy. Evergreen Hall, lived in Evergreen Hall. It was an all girls dorm.
You were an RA.
I was a lot of things. So I had to pay for school. So I was, my first year started with student government, Project Santa. I was a student government president.
First female, right?
First female to be SGA president, and then RA.
You were class president?
Class president, yeah.
You were just a little involved.
I was involved. Yeah, I loved it. When I walked on campus, I told myself, I want to experience everything that I never experienced before.
Were you always kind of like that, really trying to get your taste of everything, even in high school as well? Or was this kind of like your palate?
It's when I blossomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but high school, I was the senior class president and, getting everybody together, fundraisers, selling chocolate bars for our student senior trip and stuff like that. So, yeah, I always enjoyed being engaged with people.
And I had to say, like, Brooklyn, Glassboro.
Yeah.
Little
Night-
different.
a little different.
Little different,
So how
yeah,
do we
yeah.
get to the country life? How do we get used to all of that and living away from home? And that takes
was-
a lot of students some time.
It was an adjustment, but I'm the oldest of 4, and so it was kind of nice to be out on my own.
Yeah.
I've always been very independent, and so I don't know. It just kind of worked. It was good.
Let's be honest, there was better bread and bagels in
Yes.
Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, yeah, food was much better. Grandma was there.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
Sunday dinner was a little better
little
than,
different.
than Winans.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, Rick, where did you grow up?
Exit 4.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
you weren't too far away. So
No, not far at all. And in fact, because of that, they wouldn't allow me on campus for housing as a freshman because I lived too close. So I
had to
had to
commute.
wait a couple of weeks before they found a place for me in what was then New Campus Apartments. I think you still call it that, don't you? There's nothing new about it.
No.
But it was new.
New,
literally
It was new
when I
then.
was
Old
there,
campus
yes.
apartments.
And then lived off campus the last 3 years and chose Glassboro because I was going to be a school teacher. I was an education major, and Glassboro State was not only the best in New Jersey, one of the best in the country. So it was natural to come here. But I very quickly in my sophomore year discovered public relations and communications. A classmate was taking a course in PR, and I was flipping through her textbook and loved it. And I discovered that I had been doing all those things in high school. I used to organize events, and I was like, wow, you can like get a major in this?
Mm-hmm.
So I switched from secondary ed to communications.
now, when do you two find each other on your
Jess
path?
loves her prop sweethearts. Can we preference that?
I know
'Cause
Rob
she-
will never ask the prop sweetheart
yes,
story.
because
but
she loves
that's
these
what I
little
wanna
love
know.
stories. So.
Yeah.
So September 1977.
Jean's first day on
My
campus.
first day on campus, Rick spoke to the freshman class, and he told everybody to come, and he was going to talk about Project Santa.
I was the sophomore class president, so I had to give a speech welcoming the incoming freshmen in their orientation. So the whole freshman class is there, and I'm given that pitch, and Jean was the only person to show up.
Oh,
For
what?
for the first half hour, I think everybody else
Oh,
was
what?
busy. But I left there, went right to the.
Did you sign right up for Project
I signed
Santa?
right up for Project Santa. I was like, this sounds really cool. Giving back to the needy of Gloucester County. It was fun, and it was a very different event back then.
Yeah.
Back then, you could
Back then, it was the biggest event of the year.
pledge 50 cents to blow your roommate up on stage.
Which is why it was the biggest event of the year.
And this is why
And
also
we
they
did-
don't
we
do
did
it
blow
anymore.
up-
Do it anymore.
we did blow up the Student Center ballroom, and at the big problem to that is that the Board of Trustees was meeting in the Owl's Nest downstairs, and we had to evacuate the building. The fire department showed up. The board was not happy.
So when he spoke, other than Project Santa,
You were
were you
smitten?
thinking anything of him?
No, I just, we started working together in SGA, and then we got to know each other, and then we hung out with each other, and then I think it was really not until you graduated, that we really started seeing kind of dating. Never really went on a date. We still haven't been on a date. We're married 43 years.
Well, why should I bother at this point?
It's hard to date in
I've
college.
already
There's no
closed
money.
the deal.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to work for anymore.
Oh my God.
So you find each other, you're friendly the whole time. You're busy in economics, you're busy in communications. You're a super involved student. What is our class load like? Who are our professors that we're really engaged with, and any mentors that we had that kind of helped shape our journey here on campus?
Well, for me, it was the entire communications faculty. Tony Fulginetti was my faculty advisor. Huge impact on my life. Brilliant and astonishing individual. And the entire communications faculty, frankly, we had the advantage for us back then that we were able to drink at 18. So the advantage, not just the obvious, but the fact that the communications faculty went to a particular bar in town every day, every afternoon, and I went with them as often as I could. And you sit around a bar drinking with your professors, you're going to learn a huge amount, but most importantly, they will later discover that it is impossible to give you anything other than an A when you finally take their class.
Is this a best practice that we're encouraging?
You know too much.
I strongly recommend you get drunk with your professors as often as possible.
I like that as the takeaway tagline. For the podcast. I could see the wit publishing it now.
Yeah. Oh no.
This is how I got 4.0 every.
And so you found your way in this comm world, right? And then so what were your plans back then?
Politics.
I
I was interning. Tony helped me, or frankly, flat out got me an internship with our congressman, the first district here in New Jersey at the time was Jim Florio, later governor. And so I was interning for him, and upon graduation went to Washington to join his Congressional Hill staff. Immediately hated Capitol Hill, but loved the D.C. area, so stayed. And moved over to the nonprofit world, where I became director of communications for a medical rehabilitation nonprofit group, and did that for a few years. Then moved into pure journalism, where I became editor of a medical magazine and writer on some other publications. And that was our first 2, 3, 4 years in the DC market. After I was there for a year, Gene graduated, came down to join me, and we've been there ever since.
So you must like DC then.
Yeah, we're in Northern Virginia right now. We love the area. It's really pretty, and we love the country, and it's nice. Yeah.
And then what did you do upon graduation?
I had a lot of jobs.
We both
We both had a lot of jobs.
let's say we hated our 20s.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
just a lot of discovery and stuff, and so
One
really,
year we counted, I think, between the two of us, 9 W-2s.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
and
And
I
we
never.
moved at one point, I think, 6 times in 9 years.
Yeah, our family was very worried about us.
My mother at
probably
one
laughing
point
out.
parachuted my older brother in to check me out.
Yeah.
What's
Really?
going on?
I
What
remember
are you
my
doing?
dad came down to visit, and he just they
Oh,
were
especially when you're
worried.
the oldest of 4.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we're
yeah.
like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
what is going on down there?
And we were worried too. But what we discovered, because of our wonderful education at Rowan, what we discovered was that Ric is a great educator and a great communicator. And so he went to work for a financial planning firm in Tysons Corner, Virginia. And from that, then I went to go work for Payne Weber, learned back office, and then I came to work with him. And we would go and give PTA groups, elementary school PTA groups, seminars on how to save money to get their kids into college.
Love that.
So smart.
And so that's how we built our business. We were educators. So we were educating them, and then we got licensed, and then we would help them invest their money. And so, here we are over 37, 40 years later, and, the foundation of education, because then we were empowering people about money.
Yes.
And then we were had our business for over 35 years. And so then we had the generations. So all these kids were growing up with financial plans, and they knew they had financial literacy. And so, we feel like our company, the base of what we got from Rowan and then the company we built is impactful. It's helping people and their future, because nobody teaches about money. You don't really learn about it from your family. You don't learn it in school.
It wasn't our intention to get into the
Yeah.
financial planning world. I was writing in the financial trade press. I started in the medical press. My publisher owned a financial magazine, so I started in the financial press, helping out with various articles. That gave us the entree to realize we should learn more about money. And we went to a financial advisor for help in buying a house. He turned out to be a crook.
Oh, no.
Told us to commit a felony, basically. Gave us illegal advice.
Oh, my gosh.
Told us to lie on our mortgage application in order to qualify for the mortgage, which is a felony. And it so infuriated us that we said, you know what, we're going to teach ourselves how this works, and then we're going to teach others what we've learned. And that was the basis of our leaving writing, Jean leaving her job, and that's when she went to Payne Weber. I formed my own little practice in a larger organization to provide financial advice. And after about 6 months, you left Payne Weber, joined me, and from then on, I was the front office working with clients. You were the back office handling the operations, administration, processing, and all that kind of good stuff. Or as I like to phrase it, I would create the problems and Jean would solve them.
Why do you think people don't talk about finances? Is it like you were raised not to talk about money, or
Sure.
we just didn't? People don't know.
One is you were raised that way, not to talk about it. It was distasteful. It was private. It's intimidating. Parents really couldn't talk about money because they didn't have any. They didn't know anything about it. They were trying to figure it out too. Money is a relatively recent phenomenon back in the day, nobody had money. Everybody you were around didn't have money.
Well, and it was the 80s too, so mutual
I'm talking
funds.
about I'm talking about the 20s and 30s.
and 40s. And
People had such short life expectancies that they had no need to plan for the future because they weren't going to have one. They'd be dead. Yeah. It wasn't until we've had the relatively recent development of longevity where people are reaching 60s, 70s, 80s, now 90s and 100s, where you do have to plan for your future. So people grew up financially illiterate because it wasn't an important subject to know about. And your parents couldn't teach you because they didn't have any education or background in it. Employers don't tell you anything. Our K through 12 school system teaches you nothing. So we learn through the school of hard knocks. The only time you make financial decisions is when you're faced with them. And we're in over our heads because the people you're interacting with are good at it. The guy selling you a car sells 2 or 3 a week. You buy one every 3 or 4 years. So when you're negotiating on that, should I buy versus lease, and how do I negotiate the price, and how do I determine fair value of my trade-in, you're in over your head. You're going to get abused. Same thing in banking, credit cards, insurance, mortgages, real estate, retirement plans in the workplace, your 401k, your IRA. No one's giving you the training or education to manage these decisions, and you end up making bad ones.
No, that's why I'm excited about seeing so many schools now educate young people, high school level, middle school level, about financial matters.
Unfortunately, only half the states are still mandating that there's even a course in high school. And even half of those states don't require a test. It's an optional course, and clearly it's a good start, but we need every state to do this on a mandatory competency-tested basis so that people graduate high school knowing how to balance a checkbook, understanding what life insurance is, recognizing what is a stock, what is a bond, what is a mutual fund, understanding the very, very basic elements of day-to-day living so that they can make decisions that are in their best interest.
I'm pretty proud to say I got both my 19-year-old and 22-year-old nephews saving mutual funds. We got them already in there.
Actually, when my kids were born, I said to Rob, what should I do with
Because I love this space.
Yeah. So,
Sort of 529s. For your kids, not my, I don't have kids.
529s, they have UGMAs. We can talk about
We can
this
do all
day.
day.
I'll get your financial advice later.
Well, but I want to step back 1 second and just share this because, we just came from graduation. You've got all these young people stepping out into the world, and your 20s are a time of discovery. You don't have to have it figured out. Take the twists and turns, go over the bumpy roads. That's what it's about. It's about learning. And Ric and I, our spark was a really tragic moment when this guy gave us illegal advice. But
Thank God you knew, because how did you even know what he was saying was? Were you reading?
Because he was telling us to make a statement that we knew was a lie.
Right.
Yeah. But it was our spark. It was like, oh my God, this guy is, this guy is this guy. We could do this so much better. So to all the young people out there listening, take the moments that you can switch the path and go find what is right and make a difference, and that's what we chose to do, is to make a difference. Go educate people.
Yeah, and you've done that through several different avenues, right? Ric, you've done your podcast, which ran for forever.
Our books, he's written so many.
The Squirrel Manifesto, we've talked about. So
I was wondering if the Squirrel Manifesto kind of came about because you realized even little kids need this education, and it's kind of a friendly way to introduce the concept of saving a little, spending a little.
It was an opportunity for Gene and I to collaborate on a book project, which we hadn't done. I've written now 13 books. I'm about to finish my 14th on college. And so the children's book, The Squirrel Manifesto, was a fun little project.
It's a beautiful book. It's such a beautiful book.
We had a Disney animator do the art for us. So, yeah, it's gorgeous. But it was, to your point, a recognition how important it is to start talking about money when children are young ages. People don't realize that children make their first financial decision at around age 3, and they do it in the supermarket. Typically mom asks, what cereal do you want? And the child points to that. And so that's their first assisted buying activity. It's not in a toy store and it's not online. It's in a supermarket with mom. And I remember as a little kid demanding, when I was with my parents in a store, I wanted to pay. And they would hand me the money or the credit card so I could give it to the cashier, because that was a very adult thing to do. And so
you're like, you really don't want to pay, but okay.
But kids want to engage in the transaction.
Yes.
And because that cash register is kind of like a toy.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a machine and so on. And so kids are engaged in money at incredibly young ages, but we need to help them put it into context and understanding of where money comes from, the implication of this, what does it mean, choices that have to be made. And parents are generally not doing that. And it's easy to do. When you're teaching your child how to count, have them count pennies. When you're teaching them multiplication tables, have them do it with dollars. When you're teaching them American history, ask about the economics of American history. How much did the typical colonist in America back in the Revolutionary era, how much money did they make? And how did they make money? What was it like to be a farmer? Where did they get the money to do this? How did they acquire the land? When was the first bond issued by the United States? Hint, it was Alexander Hamilton. And so
Hamilton always comes up in this podcast.
It does. She loves the musical.
And that's how you make it entertaining and interesting. And oh, by the way, they learn almost by accident. Mm-hmm. And once you learn these concepts, you retain them for life. It's like once you learn 2 + 2 is 4, you know it. You stick this for life, and you can learn to apply it in the future.
And kids ask for everything. Mm-hmm. Like my kids could go into the pharmacy and find something they want. And you have to have that conversation. Well, if we buy this, then we might not be able to buy that. And if we buy too many of these things, well, maybe we can't go to Sesame Place. And like all of just that communicate, because they want everything, and they think money is endless. So
parents
it is
don't tell their children how much money they earn. Parents don't share their tax returns with their children. And I argue that by the time your children are 13 or 14, you ought to be letting them know how much you earn, and you ought to be having them help you prepare your taxes. That sounds like an invasion of privacy to a lot of parents, but in fact, it's a core element of education for the children to understand the impact of taxation, that there is a finite amount of money and where that money has to be allocated to support the family, and the implications of spending more than you're earning. The kids are going to learn this sooner or later, and they're a whole lot better off if they learn it at 12 instead of 24 or 34.
Yeah, when they're in credit card debt.
Can I geek out a little bit and ask one more financial question?
Yeah,
then we can move on
absolutely.
to cryptocurrency, digital assets. Can you, in like layman's term, try to explain what it's going to be, what it will look like for what it is now, and then what it will look like for us?
I'll give you a very short, brief answer on it. You can read my book, The Truth About Crypto.
See, this was not a setup.
This was not. It was number one at Amazon when I debuted. So this is money of the future. Think back to the formation of the internet in the 90s. That was Internet 1.0. That was an internet where we refer to it as the Internet of People. We used the internet back in the 90s to send emails and texts. Later you had Facebook and Instagram and so on, where you posted content about me and about you, and we communicated and interacted, the Internet of People. Next, in the 2000s, came the Internet of Things. This is Bluetooth era, where your car is talking to your phone, where your coffee pot is talking to your thermostat, and pretty much everything's getting a QR code. That was the Internet of Things, still underway. The next Internet, Internet 3.0, is the Internet of Money. The notion that we can move money around with the speed of the Internet. And that is what blockchain technology facilitates. This technology was invented in 2008, brought to market in 2009, and it's as revolutionary as Internet's 1.0 and 2.0 were. So it is transforming global finance, and in astonishingly huge ways. And over the next decade, it will become the dominant way that people manage money. So you can't deny it any longer. You can't ignore it. You can't pretend it doesn't matter. This is incredibly important, and we are still at the very, very early stages. This is in formation of the internet. Putting it in context, we're kind of like around 1999, 2000. Maybe 2001 or 2, but we are still in the very early stages of crypto development, deployment, usage, and it's extraordinarily exciting.
Okay, so you build this very successful company together, which is amazing. And how do we find Rowan stays in the picture as you take your professional journeys? Are you coming back to campus? Are you speaking? Is there something still kind of pulling on you to get involved with the university? What did that look like?
We always stayed connected to the university by providing scholarships after we left, small scholarships. Obviously, things have grown from there. And then from the scholarships, it was Phil Timinia and Don Farish that approached us about the planetarium. And that's always been a an exciting topic for us. We love, Ric has a beautiful collection of astronomy books. And then, I've been on the board. I was invited to be on the board in 2009, stayed till about 2012, and then came back a few years ago. And that was about the time that Rowan was looking at buying the quarry in Mantua. And Ken had just come on board to head our life sciences department. And he made a presentation to the board about this quarry and fossils. And I ran home. I was like, Ric, we need to be involved. This is a very exciting project. We've always wanted to give back. We both feel the education we got here was such a beautiful foundation for what we were able to do. Scholarships are very important to us. And then the School of Communications, to be determined.
Yes, the 2.0 there.
2.0. But yeah, and then we've got Anne-Marie Battazzi's scholarships that we provide. So we just like to help people and make a difference.
And we also believe that loyalty matters, that where you come from matters, that giving back matters, so that others can enjoy the advantages we were beneficiaries of. And so it has always made sense to us that if we're going to engage in philanthropic activities, that a primary outlet for those efforts ought to be the university. And the university, frankly, makes it easy to do because it is growing in such profound ways and becoming such a movement within the higher education system. Under the leadership of Ali, it has been astonishing how this has transformed to what was a sleepy little teacher's college when we went to Glassboro 50 years ago.
I know.
To what it is today. I think we both agree that neither of us would have been accepted.
And what it's going to be.
Yeah,
I mean.
If we had.
Oh, yeah, no way. We did not have the SAT scores.
Yeah.
Neither did we.
Do you want to put them out there? No.
No.
Tell us something we don't know about you, your SAT score.
I'm not sure I remember, but I'm sure it was not enough to get into Glassboro or now Rowan. So what's happening here is exciting. We consider it a privilege to be a small part of it, and we're hopeful that what we're doing is inspiring others to recognize that they too should support the university in material ways. And I'll allow you to define the word material, whether it's volunteer time, which the university could desperately use, or it is financial. And whether it's a $5 check or a $5,000 check or a $5 million check, doesn't matter. You know what's material to you. And we would argue that in your efforts to be philanthropic and generous and giving, that you share that with Rowan.
Was philanthropy something that you grew up familiar with, or was it something that was taught? Because I think people know about donating, but being philanthropic in nature is kind of like that like next step.
Well, if you are a student of the Bible, then you're very well familiar with tithing.
Yep.
And the importance of, under that edict, 10% of your gross income. Our attitude was not merely a Judeo-Christian perspective on it, but simply what is appropriate. And so we always, like Jean said in the beginning, the philanthropic activities, we wouldn't call it philanthropic, which is a big fancy word. We just would have called it charitable giving or donation or whatever. And the amounts weren't a lot of dollars, but it was always a large percentage. Mm-hmm. And Americans are the most generous people in the world. We give more money to charity than anybody else per capita for any other nation in the planet. And we've always been that way. And we think that an awful lot of people are very generous, and all we ask is that a small portion of your generosity be directed toward the alma mater or the university that has given you so much.
What is it like for you all when you come back to campus? You see your name on things, like this campus that you were at in the 80s looked much different. Now your names are on buildings, a fossil park, a planetarium. Like, what is that feeling like when you see that? Is it surreal? Have you gotten used to it? What's it like?
At times it's very hard to fathom. There would be weeks where we had $25 for food. So
we didn't own a television for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we
had a
know
one-bedroom basement apartment with no furniture in it but our bed.
Yeah, I mean, we know what it's like to not have. And so it's really quite something.
Which is why my mother sent my brother to come see us.
We finally got to the real story.
Yeah,
now.
bring a lawn chair or
Yeah,
something.
right.
You need
Yeah,
somewhere
to bring
sit.
your own
The
furniture.
director's chair.
And
These are the
food, by the
Yeah,
way.
we had dinner. We had a dinner party, and we didn't have furniture, so I pretended, we're gonna have a picnic. You know,
Everybody sat on the floor.
You got creative.
Peanut butter and jellies for everybody.
But it's not about us. It's in
And-
fact,
and-
we had a very big fight way back when with Phil Timinia, if you recall, because Phil insisted that the planetarium be called the Edelman Planetarium, and we were adamant, no, we didn't want our name on it, and he was like, you have to. And it was a big argument. He won.
Well, I'm glad he won. I'm glad he won. So let's talk dinosaurs. We've got like one of the coolest things that recently happened to us. And you guys putting your name on this amazing fossil park museum. So talk to us about, you've mentioned the quarry. Let's just lead right into it.
we are creating miles of smiles. That's what I say. Everybody that goes there and leaves there are so happy and smiling and creating memories. Memories with your family. If you're going to bring your kids there, they're going to want to go back and they're going to talk about it forever. It's miles of smiles. Yeah, Rick can talk about the science of. I'm not good at talking about that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's about mosasaurs. It's all about mosasaurs. That's what I know. Yeah,
Sea creatures.
sea creatures. Yeah.
Sea monsters.
Sea monsters.
As Ken likes to refer to them. The site is scientifically important because it has enabled Ken to make a discovery that has eluded paleontologists for decades. We all know now that the asteroid hit the Yucatan Peninsula 66 million years ago, which ended up destroying 75% of all the life on Earth, not merely dinosaurs, but everything. 3 out of 4 creatures, both land and air and sea. And what they didn't have was the proof that it was the asteroid. Ken discovered the physical evidence in the quarry in Mantua Township. He says he's looked for it everywhere, in the Himalayas and the Gobi Desert, in the Arctic, and Patagonia, in Montana, and he found it behind a Lowe's and Chick-fil-A.
I mean, if you're going to find
That's where
it.
I think everything's high.
Yeah. You just want to go to the Target.
I love Target.
So they have found 100,000 fossils so far and 100 new species, including the world's largest crocodile at 27 feet, which is on display in the museum. They have made some amazing discoveries. And so it's scientifically important in that sense. The other thing that makes it unique is that it is right here, meaning most places where you find dinosaurs, where there are dinosaur sites and quarries and dig sites, is in the middle of nowhere. It's in the Gobi Desert. It's in the Arctic, far from people. This is within 150 miles of 40 million people, so it's incredibly easy to access. And that was Ken's vision of letting the public go into the quarry, dig for fossils, and anything you find, you get to take home. And that's unheard of. So the fact that we can make this science available to everybody from children to elders makes it real, makes it tangible, and generates those smiles that Jean talks about, while we're hoping exciting children about science. We're very big into STEAM education. That's why we were engaged in the planetarium. You want to get a kid excited about science, let them look at rings of Saturn, the moons of Jupiter, let them see the Orion Nebula. That'll get them excited about science. And along the way, they can learn about optics, not just astronomy. Or let them dig in the dirt, pull up fossils, and that'll get them
Get your
excited
hands dirty.
too. And this way, maybe some of them will choose to become engineers or mathematicians or scientists, which is what we need as a country to maintain our economic lead globally. We need to produce more of these innovators and inventors, and it all comes from engineering, science, math, and also the arts, which creates the artistry and creativity on the implication and application of these innovations. If we're going to maintain our global leadership in what is increasingly a global economy, we need to produce more of these future scientists, and that's what we're hopeful that the Fossil Park and the Planetarium inspire.
I will say that when I connect with alums who are Glassboro State or even Rowan alums, and I mention the Fossil Park, they're like, they have what?
Yeah.
Because they remember the school from what it was, and even the folks from just a couple of years back say, we have a fossil park now? And I say, yeah. And I said on the magazine and such like that and the information about it. They're blown away that Rowan University has evolved into this major player.
There's been a nice little side benefit that the fossil park being a global phenomenon, this is a world-class museum. Smithsonian Magazine ranked it one of the 5 most anticipated museum openings in the world. It has gotten global attention in the museum world, in the tourism world, and this has helped give Rowan a global footprint that is raising its profile and boosting its reputation, and that is helpful to everybody in the Rowan community. And we find that a really effective side benefit as well.
So I remember back when I first started, there was a quarry and there was a tent. And we would give out buckets and shovels and do alumni dig days. And wow, there's an amazing museum there now. What was it like watching it go from a tent to when I saw the lettering go up? I have a picture of the lettering the day they put your names on the building, which was so cool to witness. And we were very excited to be able to watch it grow. Like, they let us come in. I'm sure you guys saw it so much. What was it like watching it come to life? What
legally too, right? Legally, the builders. I don't want the builders to think we were
we had
sneaking.
sneakers on. Yeah. Yes, the construction workers let us in. But what was it like watching it go from the ground up? What kind of decisions were important to you in the process? How was it collaborating with the builders and Ken throughout the process?
It was a lot of fun to be engaged in the design selection process as they issued an RFP to architects and reviewing all the design submissions and participating in the activity of choosing who would be selected to design the project, and then hiring construction outfits and then exhibit designer Gary Staub.
Oh, that was fun. We went out to see him. Yeah.
His workshop is in a small town about an hour outside of Kansas City, Missouri. He's one of the 5 greatest paleo sculpturists in the world, and he created all of the exhibits that you see in the main hall. Absolutely fascinating, an awful lot of fun to go through that exercise. Anybody who's built a home, this is, like
Just a bigger home.
Times 10. Yeah.
That a lot of people visit.
Yeah. Instead of picking like chandeliers and what dinosaur do you want up there? Let's do this.
My most fun contribution, I must say, to the overall effort was that I insisted that they double the size of the store. Because I told them the store is going to be incredibly popular.
Yes.
Everyone's going to want to buy stuff in that store.
And they have cool stuff in there, too.
That
little alcove for the kids. I was like, I crawled in it. I was like, this is so fun.
It's not a gift shop. It's a store. And it is exceeding everybody's expectations in popularity and sales. So it's because it's not just toys and stuffed dinosaurs. There's a lot of books, a lot of academic, a lot of student learning. There's a lot of jewelry and art. Yeah. It's curated.
And our book is there. The Squirrel Manifesto.
Yes,
oh,
that's
perfect.
on display front and center. I love that.
As if they had a choice.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the store.
Nice thing about the store and the cafe too is you don't need a day pass or a ticket to go to those places. You can visit
the
park,
playground,
right?
the hiking trail, the cafe, and the store available for free to anybody anytime.
Yeah, so that makes it really accessible too. And I think if you get people in the door for a coffee or an item they might want to purchase, they are more interested in seeing what is behind there.
The view too outside of it
so stunning.
is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So I can't wait to have events there and do some other pieces.
I can't wait to get back in the quarry because I haven't dug in a while.
Yourself or with the kids?
Well, the kids.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't even have kids when we first started this, and now they're old enough to walk and dig and be excited about this kind of stuff. So I think it's great. They kept asking me, when is it opening? When is it opening? When is it opening? So they know
May
now
through
it's
October,
open.
that's when you can dig.
Yes,
cool.
we're super excited.
So when you're not opening fossil parks or any other pieces, Jean, you're staying busy with your podcast Self Care with Jean,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of want to talk about that and listen to a couple episodes and talk to us about what that's all about. And
when we had our company, I wrote an article called "The Other Side of Money." Just what is life like? What's it like to be a good human being? And because it's not all about money, and so. After we left, and then I was on the radio during COVID. That was really cool. I'd never thought I'd ever be on the radio. And then the podcast. So the podcast is important to me because I really want people to connect the dots with our health, what we're eating, what we're exposing ourselves to. In the long term, it would be nice to grow old gracefully without illness. And I think if we're aware of when we're young, which we're not, we're stupid.
Still stupid at
We're
almost 40.
still stupid. But you know what happens is there's a health event, and then the health event pushes us into awareness, and then so it's nice to not have to have that health event, and that's what my podcast is about. How do we have good sleep habits? How do we have good food habits? I've been added a new element called the kitchen.
Yes.
Learning about food. It's my way to continue to give back.
Rob and I both agreed that you have a very calming voice.
Thank
So we were listening. We agree that you're very calming.
Yes.
But also, this isn't just something you talk about. This is a lifestyle that you
absolutely.
believe in and
I
you
live
lead.
it. Every day I wake up, how am I feeling? And I went from yoga, now I'm learning Qigong. It's all about movement, energy, having gratitude, kindness, living it.
It did give Jess and I a bit of a complex because we found out we're not getting enough sleep. Like we're not. The number you're sharing, I'm nowhere near.
Well, I
that.
couldn't wait. In your latest episode, you were saying during the hours that you wake up, and I was like, I wake up between 2 and 3 o'clock every night. And I was like, that's my gallbladder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't drink. Why
what
is
are
this
you
happening?
eating? Are you eating a lot
nothing
of-
good.
Well, that would be a whole nother episode. Like circus peanuts, probably not good, right? Like I don't think that's good.
But it is. It's what did we eat during the day? That's putting some red lights into our different organs. I mean, that's the nerdiness about it. I'm like a nerd about all
No,
of it.
that's fine.
Let's dive deeper. Why? I always want to know why this is happening. And so, yeah.
And as Jean educates, your body is talking to you all the time. It's telling you what the issues are. You just have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Listen to
Get
it.
quiet enough to listen. So
I have a problem with that.
it took me 5 years to shift Ric's eating. But he's doing much, much better.
All right,
now.
good, Rick. There we go.
What's a typical day? Like, what are you eating?
So, Rick loves his scrambled eggs and toast in the morning. This is very weird and nerdy, but I love a good soup in the morning.
Okay. Cold or hot?
Hot soup.
Okay.
Wow.
Lots of hot soup in the morning, lots of vegetables, maybe some white beans or something, a protein. And then for me, lunch is some kind of a protein, could be tempeh, could be tofu. They have this cool stuff, pumpkin tofu. Okay. So it's very, very good. I love pumpkin. And then some kind of vegetables and some kind of a starch. So a noodle. But I'm specifically gluten-free. So that, it doesn't limit me, but I always have to be thinking about that. And then dinners, I'll do soup, I'll do vegetables, it's variety. It's good proteins, cleaner, not a lot of salt, not a lot of seasoning,
No dairy, no
For
meat.
me. No
And Rick,
meat.
what are you eating? Hot dogs, Rick? What are we doing here?
No, Rick
No?
is good.
Up until 5 years ago.
I got him off meat, which is good.
Oh,
so,
no.
but he doesn't. He eats dairy. He'll eat dairy. He loves his
Okay.
cheese and
I'm with you there.
pastas and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Come on, Rick. Let's hang
he's
out.
Yeah.
No, you'll be a bad influence.
Oh, I know.
But neither one of us are drinking.
We don't drink
Okay,
anymore.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we stopped that.
You feel bad. You feel like a new human.
I feel good. I'll tell you what, it's like the inflammation. So if you feel like you're getting a little inflamed, arthritis and stuff, it's what we're eating. And so I'm 66 and
Shifting to
I don't have-
Jean's recommendations, definitely feel dramatically better. I dropped about 25 pounds.
All right.
Significant improvement in skin.
He's the healthiest of his brothers.
So yeah, there's no question that I feel a lot better, that energy is higher, that a lot of the aches and pains and issues don't exist. The notion of what drives us crazy is you see this TV commercial of oh, do you have indigestion? Take this pill. Like, well, here's an idea. If you have indigestion, it's your body talking to you that you're
Don't
eating
eat
too
that.
much of the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Here's an
Don't eat
idea.
it.
Stop doing that. And so by definition, doing what Jean advises, you stop doing that, and you don't need these kinds of pills. You don't need the tablets. You're not waking up at 2 in
miss
the
it?
morning.
You miss the foods.
No. In fact, it's really interesting because I did have. We were at some fancy restaurant, and I got seafood. We'll eat seafood, or I say fish. Yeah. And we're in a steak joint, though. So while we were getting fish, everybody else is ordering a steak. And one of the guys, I asked him for a bite of his fabulous New York strip. And I was astonished at how much I didn't like it.
Oh,
Did
my
you get
gosh.
sick?
No,
That's
no,
kind
no.
of personal.
No,
Sorry.
didn't get
but-
sick at all. No, not at all. But I was like, wow, this doesn't taste as great as it used to.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. If you focus and you do your research and you read cookbooks, I can make everything that you love vegan, gluten-free, sugar-free.
Are you sure he only eats like Chef Boyardee?
There is something.
Do it.
I have a
can
5-year-old
do it.
palate, Gene. I have a 5-year-old palate.
I
don't
can
know
do
if
it.
Gene can, if what I'm about to say is you'll recognize what the food is, but there's some kind of vegetable. I don't know what it is.
Sea vegetable. It tastes like bacon.
It's identical to
really?
bacon.
I'm in.
It's
But
called
crunchiness
just gonna have to close
and
your eyes.
taste. I was like floored. I thought I was eating bacon.
Yeah.
It turns out to be a vegetable.
Oh my
It's a
goodness.
sea vegetable. It's
What is it called?
Dulse. Dulse. And if you fry it up with a little bit of oil, it tastes just like bacon.
It's astonishing.
But
Okay.
using
Like
dates,
spooky astonishing.
Can I get that in a regular store?
no,
Okay. Is it next to
Is it in Aldi?
Is it next to the spaghetti?
I don't know, maybe.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
but using dates and applesauce and bananas, there's just other ways to get sugar. And the other thing is getting sugar out of your life.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of the
So
sugar.
it used to be, it's so much easier today, which is why Gene said it took me 5 years to get off of where I was to where I am, because the food, I got to be honest, used to be horrible.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It took dedication because you're not enjoying this experience at all.
Yeah.
Gluten-free bread or pasta. Oh my Lord, this is punishment. But not anymore. Today they've gotten really good at it. It's like zero alcohol beers. They've gotten really good at it, and you don't mind the fact that it's zero alcohol.
Right.
And that's where a lot of Gene's cooking. I'll put it up to anybody's cooking without it having the negative anti-nutrition side effects.
Yeah. And so final question, I guess, for me is what do we, you guys are always constantly going. What is it like to finally relax? Like, what are we doing? Are we
do you?
watching TV? Yeah. Do you?
Oh,
yeah.
We have 2 dogs.
We have 2 dogs. We're hanging out with the dogs. Rick is a movie buff. Yeah, we hang out a lot. We're
And we entertain a lot. And we
we're normal.
travel.
I hear you host. This is what I heard on Edelman Weekend. I hear you host an excellent wine party. That's when I heard from one of the people in my golf carts that you have either wine parties or you have great parties at your house where
we have
there's
good
good wine.
parties. We have good parties.
I hear you're a great host.
Yeah.
So
if you like good wine, I'll have wine for
Yeah,
you.
just
I just
not
won't
for you.
drink it. But yeah, we do have good parties.
I
So,
love
yeah.
that. All right, so this is my last question.
Okay.
What's next for you both, personally, professionally, philanthropically? What do you envision moving forward?
We have a number of projects going on. We own 4 other companies at this point. Our crypto education company, DACFP, the Digital Assets Council of Financial Professionals, DACFP.com, where we teach both the financial advisory community as well as investors all about crypto. What is it? How does it work? Why should you care? How do you do it? Et cetera. We also have our longevity and aging company, The Truth About Your Future, with Ric Edelman, where we focus on the issues of the changing demographics. People are living longer than ever before. They don't realize how long they're going to live and the incredible implications for society as well as for you individually. So we spend a lot of time on the study of aging. I've been on the advisory boards of Stanford's Center on Longevity, the Milken Institute's study on aging, and MIT's Age Lab. And it's a profound area that's affecting the world on a global scale. Everything from the birth dearth, where we're not producing enough babies around the world, to the implications of an aging society, how in the future we're going to have far more facilities devoted to the elderly than we do to children. You'll see the elimination of elementary schools and the increase of hospitals, for example, and elder care facilities. So that's the second company. A third is our neurodiagnostics biomarker research discovery company that is working to develop a blood test for the diagnosis of neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. We've now realized it can diagnose gout, and we're now beginning to study cancers that will be able to identify 10 years prior to symptoms.
Wow.
If you are going to develop this disease, that gives you the time to alter your lifestyle, adopting what Gene is describing with nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, relationships, to delay the onset of symptom, reduce the symptoms when they occur, and ultimately reverse them without medicine. That's a third area. Finishing my 14th book on college, which will come out next year.
What's it about college? I'm interested in.
It's teaching parents how to prevent college from ruining their child's life, because the statistics are awful. As fabulous as college is, it's not for everyone, and half of kids going to college fail at it. Nationally, a third of college freshmen drop out, less than half graduate after 6 years, but they're all saddled with the debt that they took to do it.
Yeah.
So we need to change that. We need to help students choose a better school, choose a better major, and get through it without any debt. And it can be done. You just have to be taught how, and that's what my new book will teach.
Part of that money conversation too, that very honest money conversation. I don't think enough people talk about this is what it looks like for you to go to college, what it costs, how long. We're still paying my husband's student loans. I'm like, when are we done with these? When, how long are we going to be paying these for?
It's a huge issue. We have more student loan debt than almost any other kind of debt in the country. We have more student loan debt now than credit card debt. So yeah, that's a big deal. And we're also building another new museum. We've created the Personal Finance Institute, which will house the Museum of Personal Finance, which we are developing in conjunction with the Museum of American Finance, a Smithsonian affiliate where I'm on the board. We're opening a new museum at Fidelity's headquarters in Boston next summer that will be a showcase of American financial history, the first bond ever created in the country, the first check ever produced, and so on, along with a personal finance component, teaching people about the need for personal finance, the issues associated with it, and the financial education they need. So we're developing those museums for opening next year.
I need to be there.
I know, you're just also, how are you doing all these things at the same time?
I know. And they have 2 dogs. They just don't. Yeah.
And they still have time to hang out
I'm
with the dogs.
exhausted tonight when I get home.
I know.
We have a great team helping us put it all
we
together.
have a really good team.
Well, that sounds absolutely incredible. We thank you for sharing your time
Thank you.
with us today.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
you.
you.
It's been fun.
Quick fire questions. Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
Oh, that's cute.
Jimmy's or sprinkles?
Oh,
Jimmy's.
neither. Neither. It's sugar.
Oh, yeah. That was a test. She was testing
Wow.
me.
Uh-oh. You must be sneaking those in. All right. Reality TV or scripted TV?
Scripted.
Scripted.
Favorite show?
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
That's reality. Rick's favorite
What's
show.
your favorite?
The original Law and Order series, not the new season, which is horrible.
All right, that's fair enough.
All right. Night owl or early bird?
Oh, early bird.
Night owl.
Favorite season, time of the year?
Spring.
Summer.
Is it going to the beach or down the shore?
Shore.
Beach.
I get the fun question here. All right, so
Excuse me, but when you're at the shore, you go to the beach.
yes, yeah.
It's because she grew up in the north.
Forefront,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's why
Montauk.
beach. Yep.
Montauk. Love
So if you had a chance to go back to school and start over, is there another profession that you would have pursued?
Law.
Science.
What time does your alarm go off?
6:30.
It's the dogs.
Whatever time they say. Fair enough.
Okay, plan it out or go with the flow.
Plan it out.
Flow.
Good balance.
This is
there.
working out.
I know. I love
This is
it.
why this works.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Sweet.
Favorite sports teams?
Whoever's playing the Commanders.
More of an introvert or extrovert?
I would say I'm more introvert at times. Yeah.
It's certainly my preference, but it isn't, unfortunately, my practice.
Yeah, I think that's Rob gets that
I
actually.
do that too, yeah. Hot or cold weather?
Hot.
Cold.
My goodness, you two are funny. Okay, what is your favorite app on your phone? It can't be work related, so you're just scrolling through something on your phone. What is it?
Oh, Instagram.
I don't have a favorite app. I regard the thing as a utility. It's functional.
Well, you play those games.
Ooh, she outed you.
I play Wordle with a couple of colleagues every morning.
What's
and
the other
we
game?
compete.
Yeah, he's always
I have a
playing.
chess app.
Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Neither.
But what do you call, it?
What do you call it?
Ham.
I don't know.
Favorite vacation spot?
The Caribbean.
Yeah, anywhere by the beach. I love the water.
If you could have any celebrity dinner guest, who would it be?
Moses. Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah, Johnny.
Oh, wow, I like that.
And the final one word to describe each other.
Generous and giving.
He even gave you 2 words. That was
Oh,
giving
that's
of him.
too wonderful.
Side note, when the mics went off, I expressed my great love for Hamilton the musical.
You did. You started singing a little bit, which, No, you didn't.
No, I didn't sing, which took a lot because I do love it.
Yeah.
But I got nervous because Rick started to question me about who was in the room where it happened. And I'm like, I know this. I know this,
because
but then I
got
felt scared.
But he's got the museum coming up in Boston, which I'm excited about. That financial museum
You're
is going to
be there
cool.
on opening day.
I have to be.
I know.
I feel like I have to be. Shouldn't I?
Yeah, I think you should be there.
I think the other thing I have to do is we were talking about Jean's podcast, Self Care with Jean, and she was mentioning that Dulce product.
I don't think it's Dulce. Was it? I think she said Doles.
Doles. Okay, sorry. Well, obviously, a Dulce is like I think sugar and stuff. Maybe I don't know what I was saying.
And
Either way, I looked it up. It's a dark red edible seaweed. So she was saying that tastes like bacon.
Okay, because it's not green, how likely are you to try it?
No, because it is. Is it green? I guess it's
No, so you just said it's dark red.
It's dark red. Yeah, I
Are
guess.
you
I don't
taking
know.
in what you're
I
reading?
don't know. Should I try it?
I think we should try it maybe on
On
like the
an
next
episode.
episode and
Oh, gosh.
get video content of you trying it.
Let's
but
think about that.
honestly, what a blast.
Yeah.
I think Ric and Jean are obviously super incredible and they've been very generous to the university. And it was so cool to just really get to know them and ask them all kinds of questions about themselves and their life
And their interests, and we learned a bunch of other things
their
about them
achievements.
as well.
It was so much fun. We hope that you continue to follow along on Ric and Jean's journey, that you visit the Fossil Park and learn more about that. It's absolutely incredible. It's definitely something you don't want to miss.
You've been listening to Beyond the Brown and Gold on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. You can find more episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms by searching for Beyond the Brown and Gold or Rowan Radio On Demand.